What's up? Welcome to round number 4. We are on the draw against jankyb. We've opened up a pretty good hand. We're going to keep this. jankyb has been playing Snow with Hull Breachers in it. So we have to consider those 4 Echo of Aeons. Their latest list does not have Mindbreak traps in it, but there's main deck Hull Breachers and sideboard opposition agents, which means, they have these new hate bears. Yeah, so we're going to have to play around those. It's going to be pretty crucial for us to try to win game 1. Veil Summer was a terrific draw. I could try to Echo right now with 3 floating, or I could play Claw next turn. I think I'm going to go for the slower line that is more deterministic. I think the Veil line here is fine, but I don't know. Ooh, they're not on Snow. Delver. Alright, so this looks like Rug Delver. I could be wrong. It could be like Pokepile or something, but for now I'm going to put it as Rug Delver in my spreadsheet. Their opponent's thinking pretty hard here. So if you're all right, so I guess while we wait, it's important to think about like what our opponent might actually have in hand. So they might be thinking, "Hey, I only have a single force. Should I burn this right now? But if I do I get blown out by Veil of Summer?" They also might be thinking like, "I have force days. What's the most effective way to get them?" So like if they daze here and I Veil, okay, so force pitch preordain. And now if they daze, they're wondering, yep. So we're going to add blue-black. Dark Ritual. Ah. That was a bummer. If that was a 0, we actually just had lethal. Come on, mana. Not quite. Alright, so it's probably better to start on Ponder here because Ponder into LED is lethal. Ding. let's cancel that and let's tap our opal. Alright, so we got away with one game one. And by that I mean like we opened up the nuts. Our opponent's hand was also very good, don't get me wrong. They had turn 2 Arcanist with Daze Force backup. Like, they opened up a very good hand. Ours was just better. So last night at like, so to be transparent with you, I've been testing a no Rite of Flame list, and I'm happy with 58 of the cards, and then there's 2 flex cards that I'm just not thrilled with, and ultimately I think the 2 flex cards are worse than just playing a Rite of Flame list. It's very close, but I chose to run 11.1 today because I do think the Rite of Flame list is better. And the idea behind it was I was trying to get a Massacre into the board, but I think our sideboard is literally perfect. Like, all 15 cards are studs. And I was trying to find a way to get a Massacre in there. So I was like, well, if I can move a Chain of Vapor into the main, that would actually accomplish it quite a bit. And then you get a main deck chain for Thalias and Collect Roofs and stuff like that. But it's really hard to do that. And like 3 Rite of Flame is a joke. Like, if you're going to run less than 4 Rite of Flame, you should just run 0. So I was testing this out and I was mapping the sideboard strategy, and there was a few people on the call, and it was brought up that like Rug Delver is playing 1 Null Rod nowadays. And if they're going to run 1 Null Rod, why am I boarding in Abrupt Decay? So the thought process is I can just like Burning Wish for Pulverize if I need to blow up Null Rod. So we can board out 4 Rite of Flame like this, and then have all of these. Or I can bring these in, and now we just have like a bunch of stuff that allows us to possibly beat Null Rod. And I think that's what I'm going to try, at least in game 2. I'm going to try just having a bunch of 1s in our deck and lose less to Null Rod. I don't know how bad that's going to be against Daze Wasteland, because we are a 13 land deck. But I'm going to try this out, and hopefully this is good. Like, it's been a while since I've tested this sideboard strategy. Like, I think the last time I tested this was post-Dolores era. So we're trying something new right now. If I win, cool, and if I lose, you know, like this could have been a 0. And if this was a Chrome Mox, this hand is actually, you know, probably a keep. So there's ups and downs. We're going to ship this, though. And this hand is pretty good. There's a turn 1 Delver. Great draw. Let's draw, you know, a Lotus Petal or, you know, a fetch land. The Upkeep Brainstorm. This says, like, hey, I need to kill you quickly. It's not a bad play. Like, I prefer not to do it personally when I play Delver. But if you think that you're going to need the time, like, if you think you can't afford to not have it flip, it makes a little bit more sense. Ooh. Alright, so I'm just going to jam a Claw here. Lotus Petal would be a terrific draw on our turn. Ooh, it resolved. That's a little shocking. Really would like to draw a Lotus Petal. We boarded out all of our Opal, so Opal is not an option here. carpet. So we could like try to empty here. I don't think that's a good way to go about this though. We could try to echo. No, we're too constrained on colors. Because we could like go get echo, but maybe that's the play here. We just cast it for echo. That also makes us less vulnerable to wasteland. Deal. Alright, let's just draw a green source. Green source off the top. Come on. No land drop. It's too risky. I'm just going to pass. I really don't want to just jam into a force. We could hardcast Echo, but we don't have very little mana floating. And to me, it's just not worth it. Although they do have Pyroblast up now. And if they're missing land drops, I have to think that they have counter magic in hand. Our draws have been reasonable. Like, you can't complain this game that, like, our draws have been bad. Like, if you look at the cards we've seen, they're actually all studs. We just, like, if this Volk was a trop, probably would have been a little bit better off. Just rubbing the green source in our face. Hooting Mandrills. So this represents possible lethal next turn. Okay. So we didn't get what we needed, unfortunately. We can try to ritual here. I imagine this is going to get dazed. Really? They must have lethal. They probably have a bolt in hand. We're going to 1. I would love if you passed the turn. Ooh. That hurt. So what's the play here? We can't peer because we're at 1 and that kills us. If they didn't have the Abrade, we actually had a double Tendrils line. So I think we're supposed to Echo. Like, if our opponent has another force, like, congrats. But I think this gives us the best shot of winning. We still have a land drop as well. So we're going to have 2 mana floating with a claw in play. Which means that all we want is mana off this. Alright. So the Rite of Flame is dead here. We need this ritual to resolve. We're actually just dead if this gets countered. Hey. If they counter this, they're dead. That doesn't do enough. We really wanted a 0 off that. So I'm going to shuffle. Alright, I'm going to be a coward here. I'm going to just tendrils for 18, putting them to 1. I think like using claw there is just super dangerous. Because you lose to a daze, you lose to force, you lose to a number of things. So they can't force of will anymore, and they can't use fetch lands. Assuming that this resolves. Yeah, so the claw line actually would have lost right there to the daze. So we have 1 Burning Wish exiled, 2 Burning Wish. So our only way of winning this game is Burning Wish into like Grape Shot. Or into Tendrils, but we need Burning Wish. And our opponent has a brand new, 7 cards. So hypothetically, let's just talk through this. Let's say we draw a green source. So we have green source here, invisible green source, cast Veil of Summer. Rite of Flame, so we have 4 mana. That's not enough, even with the green source off the top, on our next turn to Burning Wish for Grape Shot. So something that could be good is if we drew... Well, I guess we're dead next turn if they have a bolt, but if we drew a land... God damn it, Carpet. If we drew a land, we could have played both claws that turn. But I feel like we might be dead now. We're going to 3. Tie ball game. Did you leave him bolt? Did not shuffle. Okay. Well, that's a green source. That's actually pretty huge. So if they force this, it's the same as using Veil. Except that Carpet will make an extra mana. It's all coming down to this. If this is Force of... Okay, so Force of Will is still live. So, if we get LED here, we're able to beat Days, but we're dead to Force Will no matter how we play this. So I think we're supposed to get LED and then use Claw. Because it allows us to at least beat a Days. Like, there isn't a line here where we could have used, like, tap the swamp, get Veil, and then win. Like, there's not enough mana to do all that. So if that's what you're thinking, that doesn't work. I have a feeling that they probably have another force. So this is like, so the reason I floated a red and a black is it looks like we're trying to tendrils, but if they just have Days, we can pay for it and then Grape Shot. But we're dead to a force no matter how they chalk it up. We can also beat double Days here. They're thinking. So my line of floating a red possibly just won us the game. We do lose to a Stifle. Did we just get that? Wow, that's awesome. That puts us up to 4-0, and our rounds today have just been like pretty exciting. I'm not just saying that, but like we've had some like pretty good matches so far. Yeah, stay tuned. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.